And we are live here at the Black Dimension, the best show on social media in existence. Yeah, I am Kev, and with me is Raj. What's going on, Raj?
What's happening, Kev?
Shoot. I just decided to come on the air for a second because basically I've been hearing things about Jared Leto's Joker, and this is due to the recent success of the film Joker. I believe there's been many reports that is things that concerns Jared Leto's Joker is just going south. So, have you been hearing anything to that effect?
Well, I actually have, and then putting two and two together, it's not making a great situation for Jared Leto because
Oh, okay.
based on what I heard, Joaquin Phoenix was even asked about being in the continuity of the DCEU, and he said that he wasn't sure about that. It kind of depends on the script and if he thinks the script is good. But just for him to make that statement and for someone to even ask him about that, my thing is there is already a Joker that exists in the DCEU. So what are you saying about Jared Leto? You know?
Yeah, there's been because of the success of the film Joker, there has been fans saying that they would like to see him in the regular continuity, and really and honestly, there are fans that do feel that Jared Leto is not getting fair treatment. Actually, he wasn't given a fair chance to see what he can really do as a Joker, due to the fact that his Suicide Squad film time was only 10 minutes, and that 10-minute runtime is not including the scenes that were cut. Now, I don't know if you've seen the scenes that were cut, but in my opinion, it would have made somewhat of a difference if they had let those scenes stay. But one thing that one of Leto's challenges I felt like was Joker is such an iconic character. It's like, and you in the recent era, you have not two, but now three iconic performances to follow up, and now and now because of and now because of because of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, now he has a third tough act to follow. Now, what do you think about that?
I mean, it's making it harder for the DCEU as a whole, but really it just stands to reason that they don't really know what they're doing, in my opinion, and they have no true sense of direction. Jared Leto did a great job in the time that he had, in my opinion. So for me, there was no need or no thought to change his Joker because he did a great job in that small bit of time that he had. When he was in the strip club with I forgot the character's name, but the character was played by Common. He set a good tone for who the Joker was, in my opinion, in that one scene. You know, so he didn't need that much screen time to set a good tone. He did it, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. So you feel like he did what he could to encapsulate the character. I don't know though. I don't think that I don't know if he, in my opinion, did enough. I mean, 10 minutes is very short for the Joker.
Well, I mean, he didn't do enough as far as trying to make a good comparison to people who've done full length movies. You know what I mean? But think about it. He was having a conversation. The conversation basically was going well. A man complimented his girlfriend, and it went very south. So it to me it showed enough of the crazy, and it showed enough of like if you just say any wrong thing, you'll set this guy off, and even setting him off, it's a subtle set off. He's gonna take care of you, but it's not gonna be instant. It's not gonna be. the way you would expect, and he's going to have fun with it. He's going to entertain himself with your demise. Now,
Mm.
my thing is, the man only had a few minutes to get this done. But in that few minutes, did he set a great tone for the Joker? Sure, he did. Now, can I say he's better than these folks that have been in full length movies? Well, see, that's a whole different argument. But my man ain't had time to do that. But it tells me the top brass at DC really need to get it together because they don't know what direction they're going in.
Yeah, I would say that Joker was a DC character per se, as far as Joaquin Phoenix's performance, but he wasn't. It wasn't a DC comic film, like that goes along in the same universe with Shazam, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. Well, that's what's being reported because we're doing all these role switches now. Affleck is no longer Batman. Henry Cavill may no longer be Superman. Ezra Miller's Flash is up in the air. I don't know if Cyborg is being made. And then as far as Black Adam being played by Dwayne the Rock Johnson, that was what was reported, but you've heard nothing on the progress of that either. And a lot of that could be due to the success of the MCU. And speaking of the MCU, um, Jared Leto is also slated to play Michael Morbius in the upcoming film Morbius, Morbius is a Spider Verse character, and
But
all
that's
the
not
talk.
an MC. That's not an MCU movie then.
I mean, but speaking in the aspect of possible MCU integration as far as they see it, we know it's not MCU per se.
No, I
But
mean it's not going to be MCU at all. There's not going to be an integration. The MCU is not going to allow the Sony Venomverse to enter the MCU. That's not going to happen.
mm,
The only way that happens, Sony is going to have to agree to give the MCU full control, the same way they gave them control of the Spider-Man films, and Sony's not prepared to do that yet. So my thing is, I don't want to say MCU because that would give the wrong message to the listeners. We are not confirming that Morbius will be in the MCU at all, and I don't believe personally that it's ever going to happen. But go ahead.
yeah, and then my thing is like you got not only one comic book character that you haven't done a great job with, is a possibility you could have two. So it's a possibility that he can't even handle being two comic book characters at this point, even though he will have that under his belt once Morbius is released. And however that one turns out, and I really don't have high hopes for it. I mean, the reason why Venom did so well is because I think a lot of it had to do with the performance that Topher Grace put up in Spider-Man 3. We wanted to see an improvement, and what we got to see was an improvement, especially when Tom Hardy first suited up in the trailer commercial. So that's to me that's why Venom did so well because we wanted to see a Venom done right.
Well, I think
Morbius is not. Go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I think a lot of Venom did so well because there was a lot of curiosity on is if that film was connected to the MCU. But now that it is confirmed that it was not connected to the MCU, I I'm not sure if it's gonna do so well anymore because now we know it's not a part of it.
Okay. Are you looking at the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is an article from Esquire magazine. It said Jared Leto reportedly tried to stop Joker. And it's titled "Maybe He Should Have Starred in It." I mean, if Todd Phillips felt like Jared Leto was good enough to play that Joker, then maybe he would have chose Jared Leto. And from what I hear, they were also supposed like he also pitched the idea that he was wanted to do a solo Joker project, or kind of a Joker film with Batman in it, but it was more centered around the Joker than Batman. That's what I think that's what it was reported as. Um, but I would just say this. I mean, if he still, and this is just me, if Leto still wants to do his Joker film, let him do his Joker film. But he's going to have to do better than all the other guys because that's what's on right now. He's the Joker. I'm sorry, is just an iconic character, and even Mark Hamill. who played the voice of the Joker in the Batman animated features in the Arkham game series, is known as an iconic Joker. So that would put him at, well, let me see. Okay, yeah, Phoenix got later. Four tough acts to follow. I mean, it's just the goalpost just keeps moving and moving and moving and moving. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, buddy. But hey, you know what? Even actors who have performed badly as comic book characters have always been like kind of labeled as not the guy for that one. I'll give you an example. George Clooney is Batman. So, is Leto headed to be another George Clooney?
Well, see, I don't take it that way because see, my thing is, before Suicide Squad was done, it was his Jared Leto being in a Joker movie was supposed to already be being um, it was already supposed to be worked on as far as the concepts, what the script was going to be. I hadn't heard anything about production had started, but they were working on that film as an idea that they were trying to work out the script for. So the fact that they came with this whole other Joker movie, I could totally understand why they would piss Jared Leto off, and it's like you're cutting him off at the knees because he had such a small part in Suicide Squad, and you didn't really give him a chance to express what he could do as a Joker, and then you put out a whole other Joker. That's really a disservice to him and what he can do with the character. So that's why my thing is now the question is there a DCEU anymore? Or is that just a collapsed thing? But and the reason that's a question for me is because they're having issues with Henry Cavill right now because they don't want to based on what I'm hearing, they don't want to continue doing the Superman contract that he would be under, and they're trying to get everyone else in the DCEU under a contract of 5 million or less. If Henry Cavill comes back, he's supposed to get 10 to 14 million to do Superman. So if you keep him in that universe, you've already made a massive problem because he can get paid, twice as much or close to 3 times as much as the other folks. And then there is a Wonder Woman 1984 movie that's supposed to be coming out next year in 2020, I believe. So is that still connected? And then people were saying that Shazam is connected, but then people were saying that Shazam isn't connected. Now, yes, you had Superman in that last scene, but it wasn't Henry Cavill as Superman. It was just a person, and I was told they used one of his stunt doubles. So even in Shazam, technically, it's up in the air right now as far as being connected to that universe.
Well, if they're smart, it better be. I mean, is without a doubt one of the DCEU successes. Like you said, if there is a DC extended universe left, and we outline all the problems that they had. I mean, it's just really not really much return on their big budget films that they already released: Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, Justice League, Man of Steel. I liked Man of Steel. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, people felt like it wasn't good because this Superman had a little darker take. But what do you expect by two beings that can fight far above the normal human level? But that was well justified in that film. I enjoyed Man of Steel, but a lot of people didn't because they want Superman flying around with Lois Lane. So I mean, it's whatever.
I think a little bit of that it wasn't Christopher Reeve's Superman. I thought Man of Steel was a great movie, a fantastic movie.
Yeah,
And as a little
yeah.
boy growing up that loved Superman, they did a heck of a job. Period. They did a heck of a that was a wonderful Superman movie. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, destruction porn, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a story, it's a fictional story.
Yeah.
It's a fictional story. Like, yeah, they can rebuild it all they want. It's not real. I mean, it showed like it. Batman versus Superman tried to follow it up. The consequences of the destruction that was caused. People died because of this fight, and these beings need to be, be put in check. But the execution,
Well, my thing is,
Save Martha. You know?
and that could have been a little bit of a better scene, but my thing is at the end of
Yeah,
the day, people look at certain characters in a certain form, and people have to understand every author that's involved with these characters, whether you're the screenplay writer or whether you're the new guy taking over the comic book. Every person gets to make their own take on these characters. So if you're trying to pigeonhole people into yesteryear, you're always going to have a problem. And see, me, I don't necessarily do that. I want the character to be the same character, but there's always going to be subtle touches and differences between one author's vision versus another author's vision. That's why you can have, say for example, you can have a rap song, but you'll get three different verses from three different people because people have their own vision of what's supposed to be there, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just
yeah.
all being creative.
Well, well. Let me go. Let me go back on the point you made earlier about you not accepting Morbius as an MCU film. Now that right there is actually factual. But why, in your opinion, can't Marvel do the same thing? Have people tell different interpretations of characters. And let me add that this was the point that Stan Lee's daughter was trying to make, but we also had an opinion about that in another discussion of ours. So why would you say that it makes a difference as far as the MCU, but it wouldn't make a difference in other cases?
Well, see, the difference between MCU is MCU are films by Marvel Studios. There's Marvel Studios is putting out films, but there are other companies that have the rights to Marvel characters that do not, and those movies have nothing to do with the interpretations of or what's going on with what's happening with Marvel Studios. Separate sets of control, separate entities. That's why anything dealing with Morbius is not under Marvel Studios control, which means it's not an MCU film, so it shouldn't get compared with or be added on to because they have nothing to do with each other.
But let me also ask you this: do you say that it's almost unfair that Marvel Studios has such a grip on the MCU characters, or it's just a case of what maybe what Leto needs to do as far as telling a story about the Joker through his interpretation of the character? If you want to tell a better Marvel story through film, just step your game up and be better than that guy. Wouldn't you say that I was being accurate in saying that?
Well, yeah. To see, and that's why I said they kind of cut Jared Leto off at the knees because um, he was supposed to be doing a Joker movie that fits into that DECU, which is supposed to be a continuation of what was already going on. So for them to make an outside Joker, because that's what this is, it was an outside Joker that wasn't supposed to be necessarily connected to the main DCEU continuity. Like you just basically made his job that much harder. Now the thing is, yes, Jared Leto will have to totally step up and basically just come to terms with whatever he got to do to make his film better. Yes, he do have to do that, but I still see that as different than what's going on with Marvel because Marvel, you have Marvel Studios controlling something, and then with Morbius, that's not controlled by Marvel Studios, so it's two totally separate things. At least with the Jokers of DC, Warner Brothers is in control of both Jokers, so
Okay, let me
that's
ask
what
you a
the
question.
difference is.
Uh, Let me ask you this: what do you think it would do to Leto's career if he bombed two comic book characters? Like I say, if Morbius comes out and it's not a success, and nobody even really likes the character of Morbius, like it's like, oh, everybody's like, oh my god, for real, dude. Like, and they're already kind of doing it with the Joker. Like, what I'm saying is just to me, I think it's unfortunate that for him is a lot of pressure being put on an iconic character such as the Joker. Now, maybe because Morbius isn't that iconic, maybe that's a level character that he needs to deal with as far as comic book. Maybe comic book characters aren't his forte. Maybe he needs to stick to the other kind of acting.
Well, I'm gonna say this: what he has portrayed about the Joker. I thought he did a good job. Period. I just thought he did a
Yeah,
good job. I was with the small time that he was on screen. I was cool with what he did. So I have no problem with him playing that part. Now, yes, DC put more pressure on him to truly excel because they just put out another good Joker movie. So now he's got to be better than that good Joker movie. So it's just personal pressure on his part. Now, when it comes to Morbius, Morbius may flop altogether because I ain't never heard of Morbius. Honestly, well, no, I ain't gonna say I ain't never heard of him, but I couldn't even remember who Morbius was when his name started popping up because I wasn't into the comic books as much growing up. So I didn't even remember nothing about Morbius. So for a movie about a guy that the average public has never heard of to fail, it's not really saying anything bad about Jared Leto. You know what I'm saying? Because and then the he's in a unique situation because there's a lot of fans who are not going to go see his movie because Marvel Studios is doing such a great job with the MCU. They just not gonna have interest in going to see a movie with a Marvel character that's not involved in the MCU. So timing is not good for him in either of these scenarios. And timing sometimes means a lot.
yeah, and the timing is just not good at all. In this situation because Joker, to me, when I go to a film based on a character such as the Joker, I want to go and get an experience. And with Joaquin Phoenix Joker, I felt like I got an experience. Now, if I go and see a Jared Leto Joker film and I don't feel like I get an experience, then there it is. But one final question, and we're gonna go. Do you think Jared Leto's Joker can bounce back at all?
I mean, it could, but the only way to do that, you got to be just as good as this last Joker movie that got put out. And now he has less room for mistakes. If he is not better, if he were to do a solo Joker movie, it absolutely has to be basically better. It can't even necessarily be as good. It has to be better than the movie we just saw because people gonna always compare things to what they already know. And we just saw this great Joker movie, so now he's automatically put in a bad position because now you have to beat him. It's like a fighter that you didn't know about, you might root for him because he's an underdog or something like that. But now Jared Leto is now in like a champion's position, but he's a champion that's already not liked by the people. So now it's like people
Uh,
want to see him go down at this point. Why? Because they want to keep the Joker they just got.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and I don't know about the capacity if he's appearing at all in the upcoming Birds of Prey film. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for him not to appear because of the way they titled the film, as if it was some kind of emancipation for Harley Quinn from Joker. Um, and it's also not known whether he'll appear in Suicide Squad 2. I mean, they one thing I will say is they just have to give him more airtime. Like, he has to not to be so electric. This electric Joker. I feel like he has to be more Joker-esque. Like I feel like this guy's about to break out and rave dance and kill people. Like, I mean, that's just me though.
Man, he
Now
gotta be
speaking for
perfect.
Donnie, he felt like he felt like that Jared Leto's Joker was good enough, and he can confirm it on air at any time. He even said that the deleted scenes made Jared Leto look better as a Joker per se. But I will say this: one thing that Joaquin Phoenix's Joker has on his side is maniacal violence. It's like I feel Leto can do it, but it's a lot of factors. You got to have the right director. You got to have the right script, and I mean, you got to treat it as Jack Nicholson treated it, as Heath Ledger treated it, as Joaquin Phoenix treated it, even as Mark Hamill treated it. So, but that's just all I got. Yeah, if he ever performs as a Joker again, he's gonna have to. I don't care if it's 2 minutes on screen. He's gonna have to knock that 2 minutes out the park, and he's gonna have
Absolutely.
to leave fans. He's gonna have to leave fans craving for more. But I don't know. I just right now I just don't see it due to the fallout of Joker, the recent film Joker. I mean, it's just that Joaquin Phoenix, like people want to see a Joker like Joaquin Phoenix put up. You know what I mean? And Robert Pattinson is Batman. I mean, people are saying, stuff about, good, positive things about Robert Pattinson. I mean, the thing that I know Robert Pattinson from was Twilight, so that I didn't watch the Twilight series. Didn't care to watch the Twilight series. But that's just me. I mean, I don't know about you, Roger. Have you checked out Twilight or anything like that? But I mean, Robert Pattinson is the next Batman. So if there is a Joker performance um, by either one, I mean, it looks like it's pointing in the direction of Jared Leto, but because Todd Phillips said that Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is a one shot. That's it. But money and demand can do anything.
Absolutely, because things change in Hollywood all the time. And my thing is when it comes to the Joker, uh, like all they did was basically put Jared Leto on the tightrope. Because as you say, he has to knock it out the park, no matter what he does at this point. And the Joker movie, great for DC, bad for Jared Leto. Great for DC, great for Joaquin, but bad for Jared Leto. It doesn't help him out. You know.
Yeah.
So I just think they put him in a terrible position. But I think he can do a good job. But if you give him if he only gets 1, 2, 3 minutes to do something, people are comparing his small bit of work to a whole film by somebody else. So that's why I say he's just in a bad position when it comes to everything. You know,
Mm,
and with the
yeah.
DCEU in shambles right now, where nobody really knows what's going on because this new Batman film is this going to be part of the DCEU? Because yes, they're replacing Batman, but to my understanding, it's supposed to be a whole different younger Batman. And if this is a whole different younger Batman than the one that was played by Ben Affleck, then how on earth does that fit in anywhere?
Well, it's like you said, things are ever changing in Hollywood. I mean, who knows? It might be Joaquin Phoenix facing Robert Pattinson, and along with Wonder Woman and the Legion of Doom and Aquaman. I mean, it may be anything at this point because it's like this because of the performance of the DCEU thus far and the mega performance of the MCU. They have to take a lot of that stuff back to the drawing board now. So we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. But anyway, I think I'm about to stop it right here. It's been real cool, having this discussion. Uh, thanks for coming by, Roger. Just wanted to get this off my chest and hope for the best.
Okay, well, to all those listening out there, this has been another edition of the Black Dimension. Please like and subscribe and check us out. We'll be putting out great content on this channel on a regular basis. So keep us in the rotation. Keep us in your rotation.
Okay, and for those of you watching the Black Dimension right now, if you haven't already, or if you're watching this later when you hit that thumbnail, please hit that subscribe button. We'll have plenty of cool discussions and pretty cool subjects as far as entertainment is concerned. So, with that being said, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us for the best show on social media. And Roger, is there anything left for you to say?
No, we are out of here. We are out of here.
Yes, we are out. Thanks for watching.